Hello everyone and welcome to Solid States Part 2. So today we will complete the Solid States chapter for any MSc entrance exam, and here on you can try and solve as many as questions possible, because it is not the concept, it is not the theory that will give you marks, rather it is your practice on questions which will give you marks. So let's get. So first let us revise. First, a simple cubic unit cell. A simple cubic unit cell is a unit cell which contains atoms at the corners. Next is a body-centered unit cell. From the name itself, you can understand that body center, meaning there will be atom at the body center, that is the center of the unit cell. So, when you say a body-centered unit cell, what you have to keep in mind that atoms are present at the corners, plus there will be one atom at the body center. Now coming to the next one, that is the face-centered unit cell. A face-centered unit cell contains atoms at the corners along with atoms at each face. So you know that a cube has got 6 faces. So on those 6 faces there will be one atom each. So in total there will be 6 atoms on the face-centered unit cell on the faces, and there will be atoms at the corners also. So in the previous video I have told you how to find the contribution and all. So if you have not watched the earlier video, please do. I have explained it very well. So today's concept is about the radius ratio rules. So you know how to find radius ratio. So to find radius ratio is it's very simple. What you have to do is you have to put the value of the radius of the cation, then you have to put the value of the radius of the anion. The answer that you get, you have to match it up over here and see what you get. So if it let me show. If say radius ratio formula is the radius of the cation divided by the radius of the anion. Say suppose after solving or dividing I get answer like 0.31. So from this what you can say, you have to take the 0.31, match it, search somewhere here. What you can see where it fits in. 0.31, okay. 0.31 fits in over here in this range, that is from 0.225 to 0.414. So you know that the coordination is tetragonal. Okay, I'll explain one more time giving another example. So you have to keep in mind the formula of the radius ratio, that is it is the ratio of the radius of the cation divided by the radius of the anion. So say suppose your radius ratio comes to be around 0.54. What you need to know is you have to match it over here. So 0.54 lies in this range, that is between 0.414 to 0.732. And based on that you can make out that your coordination is octahedral. So if you say what to do for exam, whether to remember all these values, yes, you need to remember all these values along with the coordination tab that you see. There's no other option for it. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. To find the packing efficiency. So what is packing efficiency? Packing efficiency is that, say suppose you got a cube, how many atoms can be fitted into the cube is called your packing efficiency. So the formula is volume of one atom divided by volume of the cubic unit cell. Say suppose you have one atom. What is that one atom's volume? That once you have to divide by the volume of the unit cell. Entire unit cell, what is the volume? After dividing, you need to multiply by 100, and that is your percentage of the packing fraction. Now here I have solved the packing fraction for simple cubic unit cell. So what is the volume for one atom? you consider the atom to be a sphere. So the formula is 4 upon 3 pi r cube. And what is the volume of a unit cell? The volume of a unit cell is a cube. For unit cell, it is a cube. So what we know is from the previous video, for a simple cubic cell, A is equal to 2r. So if you make it cube, 2r the whole cube, what you obtain is 8r cube. That is your volume of the unit cell. Now to find the volume of the one atom, you are given this. So after solving, you get your packing fraction to be 52.4. Now if you see for an entrance exam, they will not ask you to solve. They will ask you what is the packing fraction for simple cubic unit cell, what is the packing fraction for BCC, packing fraction for FCC. So you are not going to waste your time solving all this. Rather, the smart work is you learn or maybe by heart the values such that as and when the question is asked, you are prompt at answering it. Next, packing fraction for BCC. This is the derivation how to obtain the packing fraction of BCC, that is volume occupied by two spheres in the unit cell. Now why you are asking me two spheres, you will say. The two spheres, why? Because you have one atom at the unit cell corner and one at the center. That is the reason. And this is the total volume of the cube. What is the volume of cube? 4 upon 3 r a cube. Okay. So from the previous video, I have told you what is the a value for a BCC. That video you watch. You learn those values as well. You substitute and you solve mathematically. You obtain your packing fraction to be 68%. For those who say, okay, I am not a math student, I don't know how to solve. Simple. Learn this. Packing fraction for BCC 68. Simple cubic 52.4. Next, packing fraction for phase standard cubic unit cell. It is 74. I have told you the derivation. If you all have any doubt, you all want me to do it in the depth, comment down below. I will do it. Okay. But for any entrance exam, you don't need to know the derivation. What you need to know is just your values for simple cubic, for BCC and for FCC. Next, this is very, very important. The interplanar distance. These questions come n number of times. So, what we have learned, interplanar distance, we just learned for cubic. But sometimes the examiners are very smart. What they do is they ask you for tetragonal orthorhombic. If you do not know what you end up writing, the formula of cubic unit cell, because that is very well written over there. The first option will be the volume D value for cubic. But in the question they've asked you for orthorhombic. So you need to know for orthorhombic. You need to also know for tetragonal. Also for cubic. So read the question thoroughly for what it is asked. Okay, it's asked for cubic. Cubic one, you will write cubic. So let us learn how to do this. So orthorhombic. Orthorhombic, what we know for orthorhombic, we know that A is not equal to B, not equal to C. So your orthorhombic formula becomes this. H square upon A square plus K square upon B square plus C square upon L square upon C square. Tetragonal, what we know? A is equal to B but is not equal to C. So what you can write? Say A is same as B. That means you can call B as also A. So this is what is written over here. So the formula is H square upon A square plus B square upon A square plus L square upon C square. Cubic, it's like A is equal to B is equal to C. Okay, that we know. For cubic, A is equal to B is equal to C. This also I have done in previous video. This also you need to know thoroughly. So for cubic also you need to know interplanar distance. They ask you to solve problems based on this. Now coming to the very, very favorite part, the Bragg's law. Simple formula, n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta. What is your n? Your n is your diffraction. So if they ask you first order diffraction, your n will be 1. Second order, n will be 2. But mostly they ask only first order. but sometimes examiner may ask you second order. So always keep in mind to read what order is asked. First order, then put 1. Second order, don't put 1, put 2. Then what is D? D is your interplanar distance. The formula to obtain D is shown you in the previous slide. So remember that. What is sine theta? It's your Braid's angle. Okay. So now if you say sine theta, they will give you a degree value like sine 30, sine 60. So you need to know the values of sine 30, sine 60. Keep in mind, the calculator is not provided for the exam. Okay. So you need to know. Say sine 30 is how much? 5. Sine 45, 1 upon the root of 2. What is sine 60? Root 3 by 2. What is sine of 0? It is 0. What is sine of 90? 1. So this sine trigonometric values you need to know because you are not given the calculator. Now to find the density of the unit cell. This is the formula. Rho is equal to Z into M, A cube Na. What is A? A is the distance between the ions, okay, that will be given. What is Z? Z is the number of lattice points. Like for FCC, it will be 4. This is for FCC is 4. Now BCC, the lattice point is 2. Like that you need to know this, okay. Here it is also given. I have for some examples I've given the lattice points. What is M? M is your molar mass. Na is an Avogadro number. Now see, it's not necessary they ask you always to find the density. They can give you the density and ask you to find the molar mass, or they can ask you to find A. Okay, they can ask you anything. So you need to play around with this formula to obtain. Okay, it is not necessary that they ask you density only. Now Miller indices. How do you obtain Miller indices? Say suppose you are given this, A upon, these values are given, A upon 2, B, C. What you need to know, instead of A you put 1, B is 1, C is also 1. So when you are given a variable like A, B, C, put there is 1. Then what you need to do is you take the reciprocal, and that reciprocal is your Miller indice. Okay. First what you do, you again I'm telling what you do. First you put a variable in number instead of the variable. Say A, B, C, you just put 1, 1, 1, whatever is given. Then what you do, take a reciprocal, and those reciprocal is your Miller indice. Thank you. Hope you like the video. Any further chapter you want me to do, please tell in the comment box. Thank you.